check out this sweet truck, guys. 2025 Nissan Frontier gets brawnier looks and added capability. Brawnier looks. Isn't that a nice looking truck? Would you like a 2025 Nissan Frontier? It's probably out of my price range. If something is out of your price range, it means it's too expensive for you. You know, these trucks like this go for over $50,000 Canadian. You know, they can go from probably $50,000 to $70,000. That's out of my price range. How about you? Is it out of your price range? But it looks sweet. You know, I'd love to have a truck like that. Look at that. It gets brawnier looks. What does that mean? Brawny. Brawny means muscular. Means strong. Something that looks strong. Okay. Now, why does it say it gets brawnier looks? Well, it's comparing the 2025 model, which is the new one, right? It's comparing it to the outgoing model, right? You know, vehicle companies always update their vehicles every year. So this is probably a new generation of the Frontier, right? Because the way it works is usually vehicle manufacturers like Toyota or Nissan or Mazda or those ones, they come out with a vehicle, and then they sell basically the same vehicle for maybe 4 or 5 years. And that's called a generation. And in those years, they don't really make any major changes, right? So the difference between each year in a generation, they're just minor differences. Maybe maybe they offer a new color. Okay, let's say it's a Toyota Tacoma. Okay, maybe, last year they were offering, 4 colors. And this year they're offering, it's the same truck, 2025, but this year maybe they're offering a nice blue color or orange or something like that. Right, so, most of the time, a generation of vehicles, there aren't any major changes. Any major design changes or interior, that kind of stuff. So usually when they make a new generation, and usually the generations are really different. For example, if you look at pictures of the Hyundai Santa Fe, okay, I remember back in my whole life, I've never liked the look of the Santa Fe. But if you look at the new generation of Hyundai Santa Fe's, like I think the new generation started in 2024. So if you look at 2024 or 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe's, I mean, they're a lot more boxy, right? They're like really boxy. Some people like boxy vehicles. Some people don't like the boxy look. How about you? Do you like the boxy look? For me, I love the boxy look. I would rather have a vehicle that looks boxy than a vehicle that it's really sleek and smooth lines. I'd rather have like a boxy kind of a look. I don't know. Let me know what your preference is in the comments. But that generation, I mean, that change was a massive change in generation. I mean, if you look at the 2023 Santa Fe, I think, and you look at the 2024 Santa Fe, you're like, whoa, is that even the same vehicle? Like, that's just a complete overhaul. Okay, if something changes completely, you can say it's a complete overhaul. Okay, like maybe you have a house and it has an old kitchen, and maybe your wife has been nagging you, always complaining, I want a new kitchen, I want a new this and that and that, right? Maybe your wife has been nagging you, to do a complete overhaul on the kitchen. Right? So you could say, you could tell your friends, this summer we're going to do a complete overhaul with our kitchen, or on our kitchen, or in our kitchen. I think you can use any of those prepositions. We're going to do a complete overhaul on our kitchen, in our kitchen, with our kitchen. I think you can use any one of those guys. Okay, so that means a complete overhaul of your kitchen means you gut everything out, basically, right? To gut means that you rip out everything. You rip out the counters, you rip out the sink and the everything, right? You do a complete overhaul, and that's usually expensive. To do a complete overhaul on a kitchen here in Canada, I don't know. I think it would be at least $20,000, guys, which is, it's pretty expensive. I mean, it depends. Are you putting in new appliances, like a new fridge, a new stove, or are you just putting in new counters? I don't know. It could be probably minimum 10,000, maximum maybe like 50,000. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on these things. I've never done a kitchen overhaul, so I don't know. But that's what it means, a complete overhaul, a total overhaul, right? So when you look at pictures of the Santa Fe, or many other vehicles too, you see pretty drastic changes sometimes between generations. Okay, so like I said, a generation might last for 3 years, probably minimum, to 5 years or maybe more. Like I think the Toyota 4Runner, like for the longest time, the 4Runner just looked the same every year. It was always the same to me. It looked the same, right? So if you search for pictures of the Toyota 4Runner from, I don't know, maybe like 2008 or something, maybe probably from like 2000, somewhere around there, 2010 maybe, to 2024, I think. There's almost no changes. It just basically looks the same. It's been so long. I think it was all one generation. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But for 2025, they made some big changes to the Toyota 4Runner. That's a sweet vehicle. I wish I could afford a 4Runner, guys. I think that's maybe the best looking vehicle I've ever seen in my life. The 2025 Toyota 4Runner. That would be a sweet vehicle. Let me know. Would you love to have a 2025 Toyota 4Runner? I think they're like $80,000. Who has $80,000 to spend on a vehicle? Maybe you do. If you have $80,000 to spend on a vehicle, hope you send some of that in my way. So, cars are expensive these days. I don't know. But, yeah, so that's what it means. Complete overhaul. And brawny. Okay, let's talk about this word brawny a bit. Brawny means muscular, or something that looks strong. Are you brawny? Brawny can be used to describe a person or a vehicle, or anything else that looks muscular. Probably, it's mostly just used for people and for vehicles. I can't think of anything else that kind of looks like that. It's a very similar word is beefy. Okay, if something looks beefy, that means it looks like strong and masculine. Sometimes, especially for trucks, right? Most truck buyers are men. And most men want a truck that looks strong, right? It looks beefy. It looks brawny, right? So those words are very similar. Now, brawny is the opposite of scrawny. Okay? Scrawny means very skinny, thin, and weak. Okay, are you scrawny or are you brawny? Some people are very scrawny, but some people, are brawny. And some people who are scrawny go to the gym and they work out for a few years and then they become brawny. That means big muscles, someone who looks strong. Like back in the day, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was like, what was he? What did he win? What's that title? The weightlifting or the bodybuilding champion or whatever, right? He looked brawny, big muscles, so, do you like the brawny look? I've actually talked to some women about this, and surprisingly, a lot of women say they don't want a super brawny guy. You would think a guy with big muscles would be more attractive. And they are probably generally, but a lot of women have said that they actually don't like really brawny guys. How about you? What's your preference? Let me know down in the comments. Do you prefer the brawny look? Okay, so we can use this word brawny to talk about a look, the look. So you can either say that guy is super brawny, means he has big muscles. But if I'm asking you, do you like the brawny look? Look here means appearance. Just generally, do you like the brawny look? Or I could ask you about your preference for vehicles. Do you want a vehicle that looks brawny? Do you want a truck that looks brawny? Right? So, when we look at this this advertisement, I guess it was on my phone. It came up on my phone. I was like, oh, that's cool. I should teach the word brawny, right? So this word brawny, it gets brawnier looks. Why does it say that? Well, it says that because that's a good thing. And, I guess Nissan, I don't know, maybe the previous generation looked good too. I've seen Nissan Frontiers around. They look good. I like them. I don't know if this one is really more brawny, but that's what this advertisement says. Okay, so the new Nissan Frontier it's going to look more muscular. And the reason the company probably did that is because they want to sell more trucks. And they know that probably 95% of their customers are men. Maybe 100%. I don't know. Usually it's just men who buy trucks. Actually, that reminds me of a story that I'm going to talk about in my next video. I'm going to teach you in my next video, I'm going to teach you the phrase, you snooze, you lose. So smash that like button and stick around if you want to learn that phrase. You snooze, you lose. All right. I'll tell you a story about a guy who bought some trucks. So I guess Nissan wants to attract customers, so they wanted to design their vehicles to be more brawny. Do you like the brawny look? Or do you prefer the scrawny look? Now, with the word scrawny, we don't use this word to talk about vehicles. Okay? Scrawny we only use to talk about people and animals. Okay? So if there's like a stray dog. Have you ever been to countries where stray animals are just on the street? The word stray means they don't have an owner. A lot of countries have a lot of stray dogs or stray cats. And very often stray animals are scrawny. Maybe they can't find enough food, right? So they're very thin. They look weak. Maybe you can see their ribs or something like that. So that is called scrawny. So if you like we can use it for people or animals. If you're talking about a person, you're talking about a person that's weak and really skinny. Okay, and not in a good way. Okay, this word is not a good word to talk about people or animals. Because some people are skinny and they look good, right? They're trying to be skinny. So then you could say that person is very thin. That person's really skinny. Okay, you can use the word skinny and thin are usually seen as good words. If you call someone, it depends on, like, probably most women try to be, maybe they want to be thin or skinny, right? But if you call a man skinny, that's probably not a good thing, right? Men want to be brawny, right? Big muscles. And the other thing is you can use the word brawny or scrawny also to talk about a specific body part. So like arms, for example. I could say I have scrawny arms, but I have a fat belly. So I'm not scrawny, right? If you look at me, I'm not super thin and weak looking. So I'm not scrawny. I'm pretty fat. But you could say my arms are scrawny. That's true. My arms are pretty thin, pretty weak. I need to do more weightlifting to get bigger, beefier, brawnier looking arms. Okay, so you can use it for a specific body part. Scrawny, you could say, that guy, he's got a big belly, but scrawny legs. Sometimes actually that's a very common look. You see people with a large upper body and very skinny legs. It looks weird, right? It looks pretty weird. So how about you? Is that you? Do you have a big upper body and really scrawny legs? Yeah, so, the word is not usually a good word to use to talk about people. Don't use it when you're talking to someone. Don't say, hey, you have really scrawny arms. That's an insult. Or you have scrawny legs. It's an insult, okay? So it's better not to use these words when you're talking to a person. But if you're talking about someone else, maybe you're gossiping about your classmate. And you could say, he's too scrawny for me. I want a man who's more brawny. Or maybe you don't want a man who's brawny, and you could say, that guy, he's too brawny. I'm a bit intimidated by his muscles. I don't know. Let me know. What do you prefer in a partner? Who are you attracted to? Are you attracted to brawny people? Even women, like weightlifters, who are women, they, you could probably use the word brawny to talk about them. Now, I'm not sure if they would like to be called brawny or not. Let me know down in the comments. What's your thought about this? Because some women choose to be really muscular, right? They go to the gym and they want big muscles. I mean, most women that I've met don't want big muscles. They try to be thin. I don't know. Maybe they want abs, visible abs, or I don't know. But most women that I've met, they don't want to be super strong. But some women do, right? Some women work really hard in the gym and they're very strong. They're brawny. Do you think those women want to be described as brawny? Because the word brawny kind of has this sense of masculinity, right? Scrawny kind of has a sense of less masculinity. That's why if you call a man scrawny, that's an insult. Okay, he's going to feel less. You're going to wound his self-esteem, right? So don't call a man scrawny, and don't call anybody, even for a woman, if you call her scrawny, that might mean she's like sick looking. She looks weak and sick and, super skinny. I don't know. What do you think about these words? How do you feel about using these words to talk about people? But one thing for sure is if you call a man brawny, that's a compliment. Okay, so, you could say, wow, that guy looks brawny, right? Or that truck looks brawny. You're complimenting it. Okay, so this article or this advertisement here that I saw on my phone, it's paying a compliment to the new Nissan Frontier. They're saying, wow, that truck is brawny, right? So, I mean, most trucks are brawny. I can't think of any. No, actually, well, here's another example. There's a truck made by Hyundai. Some people say Hyundai. Hyundai. I don't know how they say it in Korea. It's a Korean company. Hyundai. I say Hyundai. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's a truck that's called the Santa Cruz. That's not a very brawny looking truck, the Santa Cruz. But again, with the 2025 model that's going to be released here, it does look more brawny. Okay, I would say still with the 2025, it doesn't look super brawny. It's not like a Toyota Tundra, for example. The Toyota Tundra, for me, it just looks really brawny, right? Or the Ford Raptor, the F-150 Raptor. Those trucks are massive and they're just really brawny. I love the look of those trucks, guys. So, but the older Santa Fe, like the outgoing generation of Santa Cruz, sorry, I got Santa Fe and Santa Cruz. Before I was talking about the Santa Fe, now I'm talking about the Santa Cruz, right? So, the outgoing generation of Santa Cruz, it didn't look very brawny. It's just kind of it's like a city truck, a truck that you're going to drive around and maybe you want to put some stuff in the back. But, I don't know. Most of the customers, they're not real truck enthusiasts. The word enthusiast means you're really passionate about something. So if you're a truck enthusiast, you're probably going to get a real truck, like a Toyota Tundra or a Tacoma or, something like that. So what are you? Are you an enthusiast about anything? You could say, I'm a photography enthusiast. Okay, that means you're really passionate. Or I'm a cooking enthusiast. It means you love cooking. You're probably good at it too. Are you good? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, probably real truck enthusiasts wouldn't buy a Santa Cruz, but the truck enthusiast wannabes probably would buy a Santa Cruz. A wannabe means someone who kind of wants something, but they're not really that. So let me think of an example of wannabe. Maybe I should make a separate video about that, the word wannabe. Have I made a video about? I've made so many videos now, guys, probably like 1,200, maybe 1,300 videos on my channel. So I don't know if I've taught that word before. Let me know, but I might put that on my list because that's a good word to talk about in another video. Wannabe. Let me know if you want me to make a video about the word wannabe. It's a good word. But anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Some trucks, some vehicles don't look very brawny, like the outgoing generation of the Santa Cruz, or the outgoing generation of the Santa Fe as well. They kind of looked a little bit more like sleek and whatever. But the new boxy look of the Santa Fe, that's sweet. I like that. And also the boxier look of the Santa Cruz. They look great too. So this, this Nissan Frontier, it looks awesome. All the trucks, all these trucks, they try to have really brawny looks. Okay? So just remember, the word brawny can be used to talk about a person or a physical, a part of their body, or a truck, or maybe something else that's kind of looks manly, brawny, beefy, masculine, muscular, right? And scrawny, remember, scrawny can be used to talk about people and animals, but it's not a great word, just because nobody wants to be super skinny and sick looking, right? That's almost what it means. So like if a kid in your, let's say one of your classmates is really scrawny, don't insult him. Don't even don't gossip about him. Don't tell your classmates, look at that guy, he's so scrawny. Look at his arms. He's just so scrawny. Look at his legs, they're like chicken legs. Don't say he has chicken legs, guys. It's not good to insult people, right? It's good to build people up, to lift them up, to encourage them. So guys, I want to encourage you today. You're doing great. I give you a like. Keep up the great English learning. You can do it. Keep learning one word or two words every day. That's what I try to do with my videos. Just trying to teach you a little bit more vocabulary, some grammar, some pronunciation, a bit of this, a bit of that. So thank you guys for all your support. I hope I'm helping you, with your English. And as you can see, the reason I showed you this picture is because this is a real situation where you can see a word used in context. Okay, I didn't make this ad. This is just, I saw it on the internet. I thought this is great. It's a good word for you to know, and maybe you don't know it. That's why I decided to teach it to you. Okay, so it's good to learn words in context, right? Like in a real example. So I thought it was great looking truck. If you are one of the designers at Nissan, I give you a thumbs up for the Brawny 2025 Nissan Frontier. I should become a truck salesman, guys. That'd be great. I'd probably do good. And maybe I'd get a discount on a new truck. That would be great. If you work for a truck company, bring me on board, guys. Bring me on board. On board means an employee. Take me as your employee. That's what it means. If I say, bring me on board, or maybe you'll say, Mark, you're great. We're going to bring you on board. That means you're going to hire me. We're going to hire you, Mark. We're going to bring you on board, and you will be part of our company. So maybe you want to bring me on board to your company. That'd be great. Let me know down in the comments, guys. Hey, I hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy. As always, I love you so much, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.